in the last couple of years that we've been talking, we've just been talking about Kickstarter. What's your next Kickstarter book? What's your next Kickstarter book? Well, as of January of next year, I have Coins of Judas, which is a 2-issue with Band of Bards, and then I have this in March, and then I have other stuff that hasn't been announced yet, hopefully later in the year. So I'm doing the diamond work and the Kickstarter work, and something's got to give, right? Like, can I promote both? And what do you promote both, right? Because I'm always going to make more money on Kickstarter in my pocket, but longevity, diamond's going to bring me further. So what does that look like?
Yeah. Because it's tricky, because it goes to the idea also that, exposure is a big thing as well. That I think, and people don't realize that, once you get into diamond, or you get into a publisher or Lunar or whatever it is, I don't really know, but into basically, previews pretty much. You then get exposed, and then you get, looked at by Marvel or by DC, right, or by CW. Or, are you going to sign a deal with an exclusive company that is going to bring you somewhere else? So what is this like for you? Because it's kind of a crazy world in a lot of ways. And, it's technically, I feel like, uncharted territory, because a lot of people now are starting to get deals. They're starting to get into stores. They're starting to get in, distribution deals. But I also think it's very much the Wild West for Kickstarter. And I'm just curious your thoughts on it, because I don't know if anybody even knows what it looks like truly.
All right, so there's two answers to that I think we got to address, which is crazy. So on it's Wild West in both, right? So there is no, when you get past, like, I don't know, probably Zenescope and Dynamite, it's kind of the Wild West. Everybody's on the same platform, like Scout, Aftershock, Source Point Press, and any new ones coming up. Second Sight was up there for a minute. Behemoth was up there for a minute. Like, it's kind of the Wild West when you go to Diamond at a certain level. And then in Kickstarter, it's very clear the levels of creators once you get to once you study it like you do. Like, once you're around a bit, you can see that. But there's so many people just putting out things on Kickstarter now on the regular. I think partly because of COVID. I think they got time to create with their stuff. So they're putting a lot of stuff out, but I don't think people are producing. And then Kickstarter changed their rules, right? So right now, I have Cthulhu Invades Wonderland that's almost completely fulfilled. I have Voodoo Nations that's almost completely fulfilled. And then Pup Van Winkle that's not fulfilled. That's 4. Before, back in the day, I had to complete one, fully send it out, and do the next one. Now, I'm a proven creator that will prove to send it out. In fact, I was just earlier while we were talking, packing a Voodoo Nations up for something. I'm gonna do that. But imagine someone who doesn't have that, and I've seen that a lot in
we were speaking, not me and you, but I was speaking because I host a comic hangout, which at some point you'll come on one of those. It'll be a good time. I promise I'll behave. That's a joke. That unless you know what I'm referring to. But when the rules dropped, I was actually talking about this, and I said this is going to be both good and bad.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be people who don't fulfill it, and then they're basically, I think, and correct me on the biblical phrase, robbing Peter to pay Paul. I think.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to happen. And so, but continue what you were saying.
No, I think that's the big thing. Like, people are 100% doing that right now. They are, they're doing all these things to get it, and all it takes is one bad Kickstarter to get you in a bad situation. We know a guy. You and I have both talked to him about him who's done those situations. I've been in those situations where I have to figure it out, right? Because you're doing so many projects and you're trying to move the next thing. So I had to buy covers. So I used just a little bit of money to make the covers. And then, you got to pay that back. And if you're not doing conventions and other things in between to get that money back, you can get yourself in serious debt very fast. And then shipping is more expensive than anything I've ever been through right now. It's so expensive, even with like pirate ship.